This week, nothing dramatic happened in the markets for me. Aside of adding a new stock to my portfolio, there was no major change in the indexes and open trades that I'm monitoring. And for many traders, that's actually the hardest environment to handle because when price slows down and opportunities aren't obvious, boredom starts pushing you to act, right? And even when there's nothing to do. So that's where your discipline gets tested. That's where some traders abandon their plans because they feel like they need to be doing something. And that's also where unnecessary losses begin. So in this week analysis, I'll walk you through the market structure as it stands right now and why staying patient is the most professional decision you can make. Real trading isn't constant action at all, right? Especially on like the time frame that I operate on for swing trading, which are weekly and daily. You are not paid to trade, you're paid to wait. That's the best advice that I can give you. And as always, this is a structural, rules-based analysis, not prediction, no hype, just disciplined decision making. Remember to subscribe for more insights like these, and let's dive in. Starting with the analysis of Bitcoin, and last week we covered in great depth what happened to Bitcoin in the past cycles, right? So I'm going to zoom out, but yeah, I prepared actually, let me switch on to logarithmic scale. Yeah. I prepared a detailed analysis and I went through it in great detail. So by all means, feel free to go and rewatch that bit. But for today, right, I think so. The key takeaway was that Bitcoin broke a few major supports. There was this one I was looking at, that was last week, right? And broke way past the previous all-time high from 2021. So for me, that was a clear indication that, we may be heading into a bear market. And I mean, I've seen on the internet that some people, are joking like, oh, we are way past, bear market. That's been obvious for like weeks, even months now. But actually, I don't agree with that, right? First, because of structure, right? If you put that into logarithmic scale, you can see that this was just a very large and very volatile consolidation. And to support that, right, what I'm saying is let's look back at the previous bull market cycle, right? So the top was there around 6,900, right? 69,100. And look, we had a double top there with a second push a little bit higher, but let's just measure the drop from there until there, right? Minus 56%, right? That's deeper. It's actually a bit more than that. I missed a week. That is deeper than the drop we had right there, right? Minus 52. So sure, this was like much faster. It was only a few months, compared to like the one that we have on the right that's been going on for a month since October. But this is a steeper drop, right? So I don't know, maybe people were already calling for bear market at that point, right? Except, price rebounded and over the next 3 months just topped even higher, right? So my point is, the absolute drop in percent, especially for cryptocurrency, right, it's not necessarily an indication that yeah, that's it, this is a bear market. The indication there was a break of key level, right? It's structure that collapses, and we had some support there that week basically the last week broke through very deep past the previous all-time high. So what we said is like, if we look at previous history based on how long basically this bull market has been going on as well, 2.5 years, which is, correlates with previous cycles, says they are just signs and chances that we may be heading into a bear market, right? Now, what's important is going to be this week, and we're going to talk about that in a second, and the following weeks, right? And in order to validate, let's say, the scenario, we need to see that we do have a clear close beyond that level, which would say, yes, we have confirmed that we have broken the level, and basically the sentiment is definitely bearish, right? And that's not quite what we had this week, right? You can see that we had a push down again, right? Went quite low, 65,000, and now we are above. So I mean, Bitcoin is 24/7, so it's like the close, basically the end of that weekly candle would be by today, right? Today's Sunday. So this is still going on. But as you can see, we are above, right? So we are closing above all-time high, and I'd say that, you know, we may, if we hold that level, maybe the bear market is not actually necessarily validated, right? And we may have a consolidation before heading back up, right? I don't know how long that's gonna take. You know, I don't know what it's gonna look like, but that's basically what I have in mind, right? We would do. Let me just maybe redraw that. We would basically be kind of playing tennis, maybe here between the boundaries, heading higher. Would be stuck there for some time, and maybe toward late of um, of 2026, we may be heading basically back to the previous top and have a resumption on the bull market, right? But definitely this is key, right? The next few weeks will tell us, okay, is it just like people are trying to hang on and we're just gonna collapse, or you know we are hanging on, there are still a lot of buyers, and we're gonna basically go back into this range, right? So we're really at the key level, key area there, and yeah, let's see what happens over the next few weeks. Moving on to Ethereum now, and well, a bit similar, right? As you can see, we've had we are kind of somewhere there, right? Actually, I'm gonna draw a zone. So we had that blue zone there, and the rationale was that we may drop lower, and it would take much longer for Ethereum to basically get back into a bull market, right? This is a just massive run, right? Since like 2024, as you can see, right? We just have something established. So either we're gonna go back to the bottom of that, or we may also see the formation of um, some kind of triangle, right? So sometimes you may have like drops like that, clear drops with the wick, and this may become a new level to monitor and look after, right? So we'll see, right? We have a pause this week. We didn't get head lower. We are fairly, you know, close to the close of the previous week. So again, this is a week of uncertainty of pause, and we need to see how price develops, right? Are we gonna head lower? Are we gonna get stuck there around this like this flag, this support area I drawn? And maybe we're gonna have the formation of a new kind of resistance, and we're gonna have some oscillation for a few months. Let's see, right? But there's also no confirmation there. We have a pause. It's uncertainty. So that's what we do. We observe, we react, and we adjust our scenario, right? That's all we do, right? And that allows us to monitor the which cycle we're in the market with simple analysis and affect risk management. And that's it. That's all that is, right? Analysis of XRP. So interestingly, right, we had a big rebound on XRP, and if you remember, we were basically stuck into this kind of like triangle. We were there basically past few weeks, and the rationale was that we wanted to see the rationale was that after the extraction of this large multi-year triangle, we had a clear break, run up to previous all-time high, and now we are consolidating below the previous all-time high, right? And what we wanted is basically a tennis match there between, you know, this line. Initially we had a wedge, and we went a bit deeper, so we still had a support area there, and playing tennis basically, and eventually later in 2026 or maybe 2027 have a break to the upside, and that would be unleash a beautiful run up with potential nice like explosive asymmetry, right? But we actually broke that level last week and the week before, and we went quite deep, and now we reclaimed it very quickly, right? So we have to see basically, like, is this same story for Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Are we seeing a consolidation there that's going to be below that level and then head to the downside, which means game over for my scenario, right? Or so, you know, it would be something like that, right? And then drop. Or are we gonna see something that is gonna, you know, consolidate around there before heading back higher, right? So I don't know if two, right? If we are stuck under the around that and we drop lower after some time, then yeah, definitely I think scenario one is game over. But if quickly, you know, we reclaim that level, we consolidate around or above, then yeah, we may still have, it may just still be a deeper pattern, but we may still have something great forming there, right? So again, time will tell, but huge rebound, right? I mean, huge rebound for the cryptos overall, Bitcoin and XRP this week, right? You see 50%, so that's huge, right? So again, same story. Let's see what happens over the next few weeks, but that's how I think about it. Moving on now to the precious metals with gold, and would you look at that? We had a beautiful bounce from that, massive scary red week and the week after. Big bounce, a lot of buyers step in, and we are kind of stabilizing around there. So I initially draw like a pivot line there. We need to see, right? I would expect that like it would be healthy here to have like the sharper basically the move and the correction, the longer you need to absorb that before heading back to the upside, right? So in my opinion, the best scenario there would be that really we head back on the resistance, we take longer to consolidate before having a break to the upside, right? As always, that's how I like to think about it. This was not well drawn. That's how I think about it, right? And these are the things that I want to see, right? It's reduction of volatility at the end, and if we have something of quality, we may be able to take a speculative trade on that. And that would probably lead us into, let's see, right? I think I would think second part of this year would be good. I mean, this was very steep, right? So in order to trade again on gold, I would need to see that, right, on a weekly time frame, unless you want to drop into a smaller time frame. But right now, yeah, this needs to be absorbed and digested, right? And it'll take some time if you want something of quality, right? If it heads back straight up to the upside, basically that climax run, like just people took profit, but it's still going to continue, and the risk is still present, right? So this also does not mean it's going to head back up, right? It might be a rebound, people trying to pull the price back up, but it's going to collapse. I don't know, right? As always, I'm just sharing what I observe, and that's how I trade, and it works very well for me. It's simple, and I'm trying to share that with you. Analysis of silver now, and well, silver has not rebounded as well as gold, right? As you can see, still a week of decline. We've tried to push past up, but hasn't worked out. So yeah, silver has taken the hit. Similar to gold, it would be healthy if we're gonna see another leg up, right, in this bull market. And if that doesn't mean that the party is over, yeah, we need several months in order to absorb that and resume to the upside. Similar story here, but the graph doesn't look as good, right? You can see like this was just massive and ugly and scary. So I don't know, like for me, this means like in the short term the sentiment has changed. So we need to see how yeah the buyers are behaving there, right? So wait and see. Same thing. Moving on to the stock market now with the SP 500. And we had the week of decline this week, and our scenario is still at play. We have a beautiful, larger sideways consolidation forming, which is good. I mean, we had a very aggressive run-up since April 2025. It was fairly directional, and now this is healthy. This is good. Take some time to digest, and let's see. Maybe sometime in Q2 would be ideal to have a beautiful breakup and be aggressive again on the US stock market, having our screeners being full again, and so forth, right? So that's it. Nothing more to say on the SP 500. And it's actually a similar story for the NASDAQ, right? Week of decline. We draw that little, kind of like wedge triangle forming. As you can see, this is respected at the moment, so that's the scenario that I'm thinking about, right? It depends if this head lower or not, but right now that's what's going on. It's beautiful, it's healthy, it's great. We are absorbing, basically digesting the previous leg up, which was very strong, very aggressive, and that's good. So that this does not question at all the bull market. We are right now ranging. I mean, it's a range market, but the bull phase, right, the bullish phase is not affected by that. This is normal and healthy, right? And it's a little bit more volatile on the NASDAQ, and that's all right. Moving on to DAX now, and yeah, we basically, remember, we had this beautiful big break early Jan, pull back, we closed back under, and then we closed last week right above that key level there. And this week, amazing, we had a clear close. We were within basically the two boundaries there that I draw. So that is great. Still, I think that the in order for the pullback to be validated, I need to see maybe another close or two, ideally even a close above that level. But here I'd say you could argue that you could either have your risk management in aggressive mode, because we really had that break, pullback, break above. So I'd say that for next week, definitely, this you could set your risk management to aggressive. You could also argue that it's not fully clear and you want to stay conservative. It's not a big difference, but the outlook of this, is looking better than that for sure, right? So, it's based on preferences. That's all. So it's great. Our scenario is still playing out there. Break, pull back, and maybe we're gonna have an up leg there. We'll see. CAC 40 now, very similar, except the CAC 40 has been ranging above that key resistance there since like September. So we had a break also same week of Jan 5th, same as DAX, pull back below. So we're still ranging there, and then we are going back up, and as you can see, we failed to close above that, right? So this scenario is still at play as well. This is clearly going sideways, right? It's not just a step, it's clearly sideways consolidation. So yeah, risk management is being moderate right now, and we'll wait for a clean break, and that's it. And I'll finish with the Euro Swiss franc here, and we had also similar story inverted. If you remember, so we're in a big downward channel on the euro Swiss franc, which means the euro is basically losing value compared to the Swiss franc over the years. We had a beautiful inverted pattern to what I usually trade or observe, right? With a support area that was hit many times without being broken. And 2 weeks ago, on Jan 26, 3 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago, we had a clean break, beautiful. You can see that this means that all that is cleared, and it clearly changes the sentiment. Last week we had the pullback tentative to go back up. You can see the wick basically push past the black line there. Didn't quite make it. We closed there, so that's our pullback, right? And actually very short pullback, because this week, boom, we have a big drop, clean, heading to the downside. So beautiful. So definitely bearish on that, and we may actually assist at a beautiful leg down, right, on your Swiss franc. So let's see, right? But it's just very interesting to observe the graph like that, and to show you that this analysis works on everything that has a chart, right? It's all based on sentiment analysis, friction between buyers and sellers, and that's all we do, right? That allows us, again, not to make prediction, but to make reactive decisions, and just to be smart about our trading. I'm a big proponent of simple trading is better trading. It has to be simple. It has to be easy to understand, and that contributes to having less emotion, less stress, and so forth. So thanks for watching. That's all for this week. Again, remember to subscribe to this channel for more analysis like this. Head over my website, drop your mail as well if you want to be notified on the stuff that I'm building. But that's all. Have a great weekend, and see you next week.